Okay, now we're into part 3 of our recipe for lemon pepper salmon with garlic. And the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to make sure you pour your olive oil into your pan. As you can see, I already have some in there. You don't really need a whole lot. You're not frying the fish. You're just kind of pan frying it very lightly with olive oil. So this isn't deep frying, okay? And it's also very safe and still very healthy. Now the first thing we're going to do is, because this is the biggest part of the fish that we need to prepare, we're not too worried about the skin for right now because that's not going to take long. We're going to turn this over on the main part. Okay, you want to have your you know your stove much better than I do. You want to make sure that it doesn't cook too fast, but remember, most of what you do is going to be in the oven. It's only going to take about 2 to 3 minutes of what you have to do in the oven. On the stove top, it's only going to take probably about, I guess, maybe 7 minutes altogether. And as we are waiting for the fish to fry, some of the things that I want to point out to you is that, first of all, I chose the salmon because a lot of people like salmon. Salmon is high in your fatty acids that you need. It has the omega oil in there that you would want to have, and it also is very high in protein. Now, one of the things that I also want to point out is that we talked in another one of my videos about the amount of protein, the amount of carbs, and how to combine foods. But what I'd like to share with you is that the safest and the most healthiest way of eating is 70% of your food that you consume should come from carbohydrates. And primarily, most of those carbohydrates should consist of your vegetables. So when we talk about making sure that you get enough vegetables in your diet, you want to make sure that you're eating raw vegetables, nice green leafy type vegetables, along with your protein. And sometimes you don't always have to have protein with everything that you eat. Okay, now we're going to get ready to turn the fish over. Because it's not going to take that long in order for it to get brown on each side. Give it just one more minute before we turn it over. Oh, I don't want to forget that we're also going to want to go ahead and start putting our garlic in there. Just kind of put your garlic around the fish, because you don't want to put it on top of it, especially when you're getting ready to turn it over and it's going to be stuck to the bottom. Just kind of put it on the side, because you're going to put it on top of the fish, the main part of the fish, once you turn it over. I'm going to lift the fish. See how it's nice and brown from the lemon pepper? We're going to get the garlic a little bit brown along with the fish. Fish doesn't take that long to prepare, so for those of you who are used to doing red meats, dealing with beef and that sort of thing, you want to make sure that you don't overcompensate for the amount of time that it takes for the fish to get cooked, because you don't want it to be too tough. You don't want it under the heat for too long, because then it's going to lose a lot of its nutrients that you're wanting to have in the first place, and it's not going to taste that good. So unless you're just preparing something for yourself and you can tolerate it, I would suggest for you to be mindful of what you're doing. Alright, so we're going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to turn this over just because I wanted to get on this top part just a little bit longer. So don't hesitate to flip this if you need to flip it one more time. Okay? I wanted to flip mine one more time. Just to, sometimes 2 times is better than 1. All right, this is almost ready. Be sure that if you are preparing this with me, that you actually have a pan that you're going to put in the oven. You can line it with aluminum foil, or you can put it on a glass pan, something that you're going to have the ability to pour the drippings from your pan onto the fish in order to give it a nice texture. Okay, so you have just a few more seconds, and we're going to be done. This was quick. This was simple. Doesn't have you at the stove for too long. Your legs shouldn't start hurting after this. Flip it over. Now it's much better. And the garlic is nice and brown. Alright, so you turn your stove off. Because you are finished with your stove top, you should have preheated your oven to about 325, 340. And once you finish doing the fish on top, you're going to put your fish in a pan. You're going to pour everything in the pan on top of the salmon. You pop it into the oven for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, just depending on the size of the fish that you have. And there you have your lemon pepper salmon with garlic. Enjoy. I am Maria B, the fitness doctor. Find me at www.mariab.com for any type of training services. Check out my blog if you need more information about recipes. I have a list of recipes on there with lots of great food that does not take long to prepare, and it tastes good, and it's also healthy. I'll see you guys next time. Take back your life.